Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Midnight Riders. Let me start my stopwatch here. So, we haven't done an episode in quite a while. It's been many months. There were a few things that happened. My buddy that I had with me decided to move on to some bigger and better things in life, so he's no longer going to be on these episodes. I'll probably end up doing quite a few solo, but I'm also going to have some other guys that are going to come in here and talk with me little by little. And as I branch out and kind of build this name up a little bit, then obviously we'll get some bigger and better things to come along with this. But for now, I really just wanted to kind of talk about something that has been on my mind for a while. And you know, a lot of my episodes are about how emasculated our society has become and how, you know, men just don't really know how to be men anymore. This is kind of a key theme to my everyday mantra. I mean, this really is kind of something that I talk to everyone. Anywhere I go, I talk to people about this, and I'm never going to stop talking about this. I even wrote a book about this. I mean, if y'all want to ever check it out, on Amazon. It is titled sorry, I'm a little stuffy today, allergies or something, but anyway, it's titled The 5 F's of a Real Man, How to Undo the Emasculation of the Modern Man, and that is on Amazon. You know, please feel free to go and check it out. In that book, I talk a lot about one of the chapters. One of the 5 F's is titled "Fucking." The 5 F's of being a real man are fighting, fucking, financial freedom, family, and faith. Those are the 5 F's that I believe that are required in order to be a real man. And in the chapter about fucking, I specifically talk about how men are biologically designed to be with multiple women. And I firmly believe this. I firmly believe that one of the things that American men have forgotten how to do is fuck. And I think that this is so crucially important for us to be able to do. I can tell all of you straight up that I practice polygamy. I am a modern, you know, call it polygyny, call it, you know, whatever you want to call it. You know, I practice polygamy. I always have, and I always will. I've been married to my wife for 16 years, and together we practice, you know, some people call it closed triad, thruple, cellular family, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays, but this is an integral part of my life. And the thing that makes it so important to me is that all throughout history we've seen powerful men who have done this, right? I mean, kings, and you know, hell, King Solomon had 1,000 wives, and I'm not trying to be King Solomon, but I'm saying there's something to this, that caveman mentality, that, you know, the survivor and the hunter. There's something to this, and really, I would question everybody. How many of you have gone out and cheated on your wives? And I mean, look, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, and I'm really not trying to get anybody to, you know, to apologize for who they are. But here's the straight up truth. If you've ever cheated on a woman, whether it's your wife or a girlfriend or your cousin, this means that you are a polygamist. And the reason that you are a polygamist is because you have a biological drive that is telling your subconscious mind that you need to be out there fucking, right? And listen, man, I'm not trying to go against your pastor. I'm not trying to go against your grandma and grandpa or anything like that. This is what it is. It's just that over the last 100 years or so, men have had to try to hide their biological urges uh, to conform to societal norms, right? And we've got to stop doing this. We've got to stop. Back in the old days, we had brothels and we had all kinds of resources for men to go out and kind of blow off that steam and spread their seed. And men were men back then, right? This is part of the whole thing of why men were able to accomplish the things that they were, right? I mean, George Washington. You'll always hear me talking a lot about George Washington. George Washington was a stand-up man. He was a moral man. But guess what? He still had slaves that he was banging. That today they're thinking that he may have even had some kids with them. And the reason that he was doing those things is because that's what real men did back in those times. They fucked. They went out and they fucked. They had multiple women. It wasn't just poor old Martha that was getting tagged by 6'7" George Washington. It was him. It was her and all of their slaves combined. And that's really kind of the important thing to remember here, is that we've taken things that were normal for men to do, and somehow we've turned it into a taboo thing, and we've made people be ashamed of it. We've made men, feel like they're doing something wrong. Women all say that if a man can do it, then a woman can do it too, right? But that's absolute bullshit. That's something that a whore would say. I'm not knocking any, open poly people. I mean, if that's their thing, then that's their thing. But if you've noticed, those open polyamorous type relationships really don't last very long. I mean, you're not going to see a 90-year-old, person with a woman that's got 15 different partners, right? 5 guys and 25 girls. You're not going to see that kind of thing. And the reason is because it's not a very, it just doesn't have the structure to maintain. There's several species on this planet that are polyamorous like that. Chimpanzees and lions and other things. But the bulk majority of the species on this earth are polygynous, right? The beta men may very well be monogamous. Like, let's take wolves, for example. The beta wolves, they only mate with their female wolf partners for life. But the alpha wolf always has multiple female wolves that he lives with and reproduces with and protects. And really, those female wolves want to be with that alpha, because here again, it's about survival. It's about reproducing. They want to be with the strongest one who's going to be able to protect them the best. And really, this is kind of how it should be with humans as well. Women should be smart enough to want to be with the strongest alpha man, and the alpha man should be smart enough and strong enough to do what he is biologically designed to do without feeling bad about it. Now, this does not mean that I'm condoning, cheating or going behind anyone's back or anything like that. In fact, I would actually say that this is the exact opposite of that, because real men don't need to cheat, right? Real men don't need to go behind their girls' backs. They don't need to hurt anybody. They don't need to lie. They don't need to hide things. But they also don't need to ask for permission. Okay, this is kind of the thing that kind of goes with it all, is it's time for men to start standing up and being real men again. We've let women run the show now for way too long, and we haven't won a war since World War II now because of it. If you've been paying attention to everything that's been going on in the news, Joe Biden's dumbass pulling out of Afghanistan the way that he did, and Obama did that in Iraq before him. I mean, these wars that we've been fighting are absolutely ridiculous, the way that we've been letting it go on and on and on. We should have gone there. We should have kicked their asses, and that's it. It shouldn't have been a 21-year draw out. And now with all this other crap going on in the world between COVID-19, the entire world economy is in it's just, the whole world is fucked up. The whole world is fucked up, and everybody's sitting back saying, damn, well, what can we do about it? Well, what you can do about it is, for all you men out there, you can start being real men again. I am in no way advocating for the Handmaid's Tale to happen in real life. But what I am saying is that if men don't start waking up and becoming real men again, this country's getting ready to experience some pretty bad things, I believe, if we don't get our heads out of our asses pretty soon. I'd love to debate somebody about this. I'd love to kind of see where somebody feels about the whole polygamy thing and all that kind of stuff. Because here again, it takes a special kind of a pussy to sit here and not understand that men are stronger when they're able to fulfill their biologic roles. It takes a special kind of pussy to sit here and say, man, if a man can do it, then a woman can do it too. Here again, almost my entire mantra is really about the emasculation of our society and how quickly we're losing who we are. The only thing that I can say about it is that George Washington didn't ask for permission. George Washington did not ask to have equality and all these other things that we've got nowadays. He didn't give a fuck about that. What he gave a shit about was his own personal freedom, the freedom of his countrymen, and the role that he believed he had to play with all of it. Man, where are the George Washingtons? Where are they? I would like to see this kind of come back to life a little bit. We've got so many laws out there that prevent men from being real men. We've got no-fault divorces, right? So a woman can go and get divorced anytime she wants. If a man even looks at her wrong, she's filing divorce papers before the last word's even out of his mouth. And this is all part of the problem that's really fucking our society up. And again, just like every other conversation I've had, there's some big guys that talk about this kind of stuff, right? We know that fatherless homes have affected, the American population tremendously bad, right? We know that creates government handouts, government dependency, right? Because people get onto food stamps and welfare and all kinds of other programs that they otherwise wouldn't have needed. We already have talked a little bit about how the public school systems is nothing more than a government-paid daycare so that women could get back into the workforce, and that has further emasculated our society. But when it comes down to it, we've got some key fundamental things. It's all cause and effect, right? It's all a chain reaction of how these things are getting worse and worse and worse, right? We've got entire generations now where 50 to 60% of the population are being raised by single mothers. How can we expect them to grow up and be real men when they're being raised by some feminazi twat waffles who don't understand the first damn thing about being hardcore and doing what men are supposed to do? It's amazing to me that people haven't been able to connect the dots and kind of see what's going on a little bit more. We're going on several generations now of people that, it's like a chain link, right? Where we're only as strong as the weakest link. But now we've got several weak links. We've got entire generations that are weak link after weak link, and the links keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker, right? Because there is no such thing as a nuclear family anymore. The government's raising our kids for us, right? There's no such thing as a man that can provide and protect anymore because the women are out there doing it for him. And here's the thing, I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody. I'm really not. People do the best that they know how to do. And I get that. But if we don't start changing some of these things back to some of those old-fashioned traditional ways, we're going to lose every damn thing that we have. Who was it? Benjamin Franklin or one of those guys that said that we're only one generation away from losing everything? Okay, I'd say we're about a half generation away from losing everything. You've got fucking dickhead Joe Biden pulling out of Afghanistan, leaving thousands of people there to just be slaughtered in the streets. And you're telling me that all these military generals are just going to sit back and let this shit happen? They all talk crap about Trump because Trump had a girlfriend. Means you got these generals. Some of these guys are ex-special forces guys and all kinds of crap. And you've got these PR generals like this dude from 82nd Airborne that had his photo op, right? Getting on the plane in Afghanistan. The last soldier in Afghanistan. Okay, of course they forgot to mention that we've still got special forces there and a couple of other things. But the funny thing is that this general decided to take a photo op of him getting onto the plane as the last soldier leaving Afghanistan when we know damn good and well that there's other people there. We know damn good and well that they didn't rescue every civilian. These are supposed to be real men, right? These are supposed to be the guys that are going to protect us and save us. And it's so disheartening. I can't even say the words properly because I'm so disgusted in the way that our society has become. We have become a bunch of emasculated pussies. Part of that has to do with the fact that men just don't know how to fuck anymore. I'm not talking about the physical act of fucking. I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about actually doing what men were biologically designed to do. Fucking. Getting out there and fucking. Okay? These single women, these single mothers that they think they can do everything a man can do. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We've got to come back with some toxic masculinity here, because if we don't, man, I'm telling you, we're going to turn into fucking France. And nobody wants that. Okay, the whole world would be shit if that's going to happen. It sure does make it a whole lot easier to talk about these subjects when you've got somebody with you to bounce these ideas off and stuff. And so, like I said, I'm going to be bringing in some other people. I might even throw some women in there just so I can get a little bit different perspective. But here's the thing that I really want to kind of drive home. I am tired of being quiet. I'm tired of being PC. I never have been in any of my other episodes, but I'm definitely not going to be now. I actually got to give a shout out to all the podcasters out there. I really didn't realize how difficult it is to come up with different content and make it last, for a decent amount of time, and then uploading it onto the internet and everything. I really didn't ever take any of that into consideration. I just thought that a bunch of you guys were just some lazy assholes, that were just fucking around trying to make some money with a video camera. But I can say honestly that this actually does take a lot of work and a lot of effort. But I am going to try to start to do it on a routine, mixed with my regular business life and all that kind of stuff. Again, and my dude that used to be with me on the first few episodes, again, he's decided to move on in life, and I wish him the best of luck. He is a good dude. So if anybody ever sees him out in the public, please don't harass him. That's another thing with this podcast stuff, is that every now and then, when you run into somebody that has seen it, I think I've had all of about 9 views on Rumble. But every now and again, you do encounter somebody who has seen it and they don't agree with you, and they like to throw out threats and all kinds of other stuff. Let me tell everybody now that if anybody threatens me or my friends or my family, I'm coming for your ass. It's not going to be a fun day for you, I'm telling you. I have the First Amendment protection. I have the freedom to express my views. I have the freedom to make content as I see fit. I will not be censored. I will not be threatened. I will not be scared away of doing what I think I need to do. And I will bring the fight to you if need be. Now, on a closing note, I want to tell everybody that I love this country more than just about anybody could love this country. and I've got some friends that love it just as much as I do. They've bled for this country just like I have, and I can tell you, uh, smart people. See, here's the thing: we're approaching a time where, well, let's put it to you like this: evil only prevails when good men do nothing, right? Now you hear all these guys on the radio, you hear Glenn Beck and Sean Hannity and all these guys talking about how we should never fight, we should always stay peaceful. And I've already talked a lot about this in a few other episodes, how, the difference between a peaceful man and a harmless man. But I'm going to tell you, evil only prevails when good men do nothing. This problem that we're having cannot be solved through peaceful means. It is going to take violence in order to solve this problem. Okay, because it's gone so far. There is no way to rectify it without having a complete reset and without stomping a mud hole through some people's asses. But with saying that, I don't know that there's enough good men left to make a difference. I don't know if all the good men that were left right now were actually willing and able to stand up. I don't know that there would be enough of us. It'd be a suicide mission, basically. So I'll tell you, what we're probably going to start seeing is the good men that are brave enough to fight are probably going to start migrating, right? Throughout world history, this is what the smart people do. They don't weather the storm, they leave before the storm hits, right? It's kind of like when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, right? Remember that? They had several, they had ample time to leave. They could have evacuated the entire damn state if they would have wanted to. But the stubborn, ignorant people decided to stay. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. I'm just saying this is human nature, right? Some people decide to weather the storm, and then what happens is they lose everything, and they end up having to be rescued because they can't get themselves out of the situation that they put themselves into. And that's what we're getting ready to see here in America. I personally believe that the smart people are going to start migrating, right? They're going to get away before the real storm hits. Right now, we're seeing the surge, right? We're seeing the tidal waves coming in. We're seeing the storm surge, but we're not even close to seeing the actual storm yet. Some of us are recognizing that the storm is coming, and so we are doing what we have to do to avoid that storm. We're going to self-rescue, right? We're going to take our family and our fortunes, and we're going to go someplace that actually appreciates us and that allows men to be real men and that isn't so PC and all this other kind of bullshit. Now, the question obviously is where in America or where in the world does that place exist? Is it Romania? Probably not. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Where in the world can people go to where they can kind of start over on an American style, freedom, prosperity type of place? And obviously this is not something that's just going to happen tomorrow. This is something that over, it may take several generations to accomplish. But that's what I see is going to start happening. People that are smart enough are going to start getting out before the storm hits. Because when the storm hits, man, there's not going to be any damn rescue boats out there. They're going to have to wait until after the storm is done. And by then the damage is going to be done and there's not going to be any way to truly rebuild. So in other words, what I'm talking about is this country going from what it is now into a pretty much full-blown socialist style, European style socialism type of place. And I'll tell you, Joe Biden's already doing his best to make it happen. And everybody's just sitting by watching it. In my mind, and I've talked about this a lot, in my mind, this country has been done since at least the 16th Amendment and Woodrow Wilson. We've been on a downward spiral ever since, realistically. Especially with these wars that we've participated in and purposely lost, and especially with, the amount of emasculation that's happened with everything that I just talked about. And I know that this is kind of a little bit off subject, but really I want people to start thinking about this. and I want people to start thinking about, number one, what does it take to actually be a real man? And number two, where are you going to go and how are you going to get your family there? What are you going to do to save yourselves when the storm starts coming? The storm's out at sea right now. That tidal surge is hitting the beaches, and that's what's going on. You have good reason to be scared. And I truly believe that America's days are shortly numbered. I really do. And that breaks my heart because I love this country more than anybody else out there. I truly do. But I love my family and I love my way of life better than I love this country. I'm not going to sit here through the storm, and I'm not going to sit here and become, under a socialist controlled government. All for the sake of saving America, because like I said, when the storm comes, there's nothing left to save. So, leave me your comments and stuff in the shoot me out some rumbles and give me some ideas. I mean, like I said, I'll debate with anybody. If you've got some facts, bring them at me. And like I said, I'll try to start doing some more videos a little bit more regularly and bringing some more people in on this kind of thing. Anyway, it's been great. It's been another real one, and I hope everybody has a happy Labor Day. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. And if you do, stick with beer. I don't know. Just be safe.